Also, Complex has put out their 10 most influential women in sports. And Angel Reese is not going to like this because, well, she got beaten by Caitlin Clark for number 1.
Somebody check on Angel Reese, because Caitlin Clark just crossed her over and left her ankles and her influence on the floor. That's right. The so-called Bayou Barbie just got dunked on by Clark in the most influential female athlete rankings. Did Clark pull up from the logo and drain a shot on Angel's whole brand? Did the internet finally admit who runs women's basketball? Grab your popcorn, because this ranking might cause more tears than LSU's locker room.
Announcing the top 10 most influential athletes right now. These athletes are reshaping culture. Caitlin Clark, check. Breaking records. Caitlin Clark, check. Proving their impact goes far beyond the game, from sold-out arenas to game-changing moves in business and fashion. These women are leading the way. If this is a top 10 list, then sitting on the top of that list, there's only one right answer. There's only one correct choice.
Another year, another L for Angel Reese. This time, it's not on the court, not in the stat sheets, and not even in the never-ending Twitter battles she just can't resist. No, this one stings worse. Caitlin Clark has officially been named the most influential female athlete of 2025. And let's be honest, was there ever a contest? Oh, wait. Angel Reese probably thought there was. Adorable.
And Angel Reese is not going to like this because, well, she got beaten by Caitlin Clark for number 1. Yeah, so we're going to take a look at that. I think it's hilarious. I will tell you right off the bat, I don't believe there's a singular world, where Angel Reese should be ahead of Simone Biles either. There, I put that out loud.
For someone who prides herself on being that girl, it must be exhausting always finishing second to the real star. It's almost like Caitlin Clark is playing chess while Angel is still trying to figure out how to move the pieces. Time and time again, Clark just keeps winning. Whether it's breaking records, headlining primetime games, or, actually influencing the sport in a meaningful way. Meanwhile, Angel Reese's biggest contribution? Inspiring a whole new generation of sore losers. A legacy to be proud of, truly.
The woman who's been putting women's basketball on her back for the better part of 3 years now. These athletes are reshaping culture. Caitlin Clark has men watching women's basketball.
And let's talk about influence. Real influence is getting fans, new and old, to watch women's basketball, selling out arenas, and making executives throw billion-dollar TV deals at your feet. Influence is when your name is mentioned in conversations alongside the greats, not because of some manufactured drama, but because of actual skill. Caitlin Clark walks into a gym, and suddenly the WNBA, NBA, and every sports media outlet are bending over backwards to cover her. She doesn't need to demand respect. It just happens. Meanwhile, Angel Reese, well, she needs Twitter fingers, endless self-promotion, and a victim complex the size of an Olympic stadium just to stay relevant.
I shouldn't be surprised, and yet I'm still surprised, because Indiana Fever preseason, not even like preseason, exhibition game, where the Indiana Fever are going to play the Brazilian national team at Cover Hawkeye Arena, Caitlin's college facility, sold out. They went on sale this morning at 9 a.m. for Fever season ticket holders, Iowa donors, and Iowa season ticket holders for women's basketball. And then general admission was supposed to go on sale tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'm hearing rumblings of maybe scalpers got in, the secondary market is already crazy.
Oh, but don't worry, Angel has her moments. Like that time she went viral for checks. Notes complaining about not being treated like Caitlin Clark, because, yeah, that's totally how you gain influence, by pouting. Newsflash. Respect is earned, not whined into existence. If only someone had told her that before she made a career out of convincing the world she's oppressed by. Checks notes again, being outshined by someone simply better.
Because when we went to the WNBA games and we went to go watch Caitlin Clark when they came to play the Washington Mystics in DC, and they shut that they had to move the game from the Washington Mystics WNBA arena to the actual Washington arena where the Wizards played, and it was packed. It was sold out for people to see Caitlin Clark. That did not happen the day before that when they went to Chicago to play Angel Reese.
And speaking of better, it's actually hilarious how every time Angel Reese tries to one-up Caitlin, it backfires spectacularly. Want to make headlines? Caitlin does it by casually dropping 40 points on a Tuesday. Angel does it by making a controversial statement, and then acting shocked when people hold her accountable. Want to be the face of women's basketball? Caitlin does it by actually being good at basketball. Angel does it by trying to force a rivalry that, let's be honest, only exists in her head. It's giving main character syndrome without the talent to back it up. But let's take a moment to really appreciate how Caitlin Clark's dominance has exposed Angel Reese's whole gimmick. The fake bravado, the constant need for attention, the exhausting victim narrative. None of it holds up when put next to someone who just lets their game speak for itself. It's like watching someone try to convince the world they're a movie star while standing next to an Oscar winner. Painful.
At the collegiate level, Caitlin Clark has broken records. At the professional level, Caitlin Clark has broken records. Viewership, Caitlin Clark has broken records. Attendance, Caitlin Clark has broken records. Merchandise, proving their impact goes far beyond the game. From sold-out arenas to game-changing moves in business and fashion, these women are leading the way. Business and fashion, you saw the NIL deals rolling out. You see the sponsorship deals that she currently is a part of.
And now, with this latest embarrassment, another list, another L Angel, Reese has to watch as Caitlin Clark cements herself as the name in women's sports. This isn't just about a ranking, it's about what it represents. The world sees Caitlin Clark as the future, the leader, the game changer. Angel Reese, she's just there talking a lot and winning very little. But hey, there's always next year, right? Maybe if Angel Reese spends less time on social media and more time actually, excelling at basketball instead of playing the perpetual underdog, she might finally win a list. Until then, she'll just have to settle for what she does best, being the loudest person in the room while Caitlin Clark keeps proving why she's the only one that truly matters. So let's get this straight. Angel Reese, the self-proclaimed queen of influence, couldn't even get enough people to care about her preseason debut with the Chicago Sky. Not even a charity-level sellout for the supposed biggest personality in women's basketball. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark sneezes in the direction of a basketball court, and tickets evaporate faster than Angel's humility in a post-game interview.
So that's what they got on her. Caitlin Clark, she ran away with number one. I don't think that should surprise us. She came away with number one. Caitlin Clark is redefining the entire landscape of women's sports. That's right. Her dominance on the court has shattered outdated narratives about women's sports, proving that women's basketball can be just as marketable and widely watched as men's. But the Caitlin Clark effect goes far beyond her performance. It's reshaping the entire sports landscape. Clark's impact is undeniable. Her presence alone boosts the WNBA attendance by 105%.
Indiana Fever tickets? Gone? Poof? Disappeared like common sense when Angel Reese decided she deserved to be on a most influential list before she even dribbled in the WNBA. Chicago Sky tickets? Let's just say they're still available. Plenty of them. You could literally walk up on game day and have your pick. Courtside? Available. Mid-level? Available. Nosebleeds? Don't worry. There are no nosebleeds because no one showed up high enough for them to exist. Yet, somehow, Angel Reese believes she's on the same level as Caitlin Clark when it comes to impact. Delusion is a strong word. But what else do you call it when someone thinks they're the main character while sitting on an empty stage? Because right now, she's the basketball equivalent of a band selling tour shirts before they've released a single song. Oh, and the funniest part? There was actual demand to see Angel Reese play, just not for the reason she thinks. People wanted to witness her go up against Clark, the one who actually brings crowds, moves merch, and oh yeah, gets people to care about women's basketball. But when left to her own devices, crickets. Turns out, fans aren't flocking to the arena just to see someone scowl and complain. Who knew?
Look at the price of these tickets. This is like right after the tickets went on sale. So no good seats. $1,000 $142 for a not very good seat. I'm guessing 10 grand minimum courtside to go see Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, has been quietly making history. Sellouts, record-breaking viewership, jerseys flying off the shelves. Real influence, not the kind you declare for yourself after retweeting your own highlights. But sure, Angel, tell us more about how people should bow to your iconic status while they browse SeatGeek in peace, wondering if they can even give away a Sky ticket. The mental gymnastics required to believe that Reese is on Clark's level are astounding. One of them is out here filling stadiums, inspiring a generation, and making WNBA executives rub their hands, together like cartoon villains because of the money she's bringing in. The other? Well, she's just there, trying to convince everyone that her relevance isn't entirely tied to Caitlin Clark's existence. Newsflash: if Clark didn't exist, Reese would just be another player with a lot of attitude and a box score that doesn't scream superstar. But hey, at least Reese has confidence, right? It's almost impressive how much self-belief one can have while the empty seats behind her tell a completely different story. Maybe she can start a new venture. Motivational speaking for people who think self-promotion is a substitute for actual success. It's all about finding your niche.
Of the hottest tickets in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark coming back to the city that she owns, coming back to Chicago after Chicago gave her such a warm welcome last year. They threw Barbie night for Caitlin Clark's arrival. They gave her pink towels. The fans were lined up on the side. She was signing autographs. How is Chicago going to welcome Caitlin Clark this next year around? How are they going to top Barbie night in a 9,000 seat arena? Well, easy. We move Barbie night to a 21,000 seat arena. Venue and date change. Our regular season games against the Chicago Sky are moving to the United Center.
So while Caitlin Clark sells out yet another arena and actually delivers, Angel Reese will keep living in the illusion that she belongs on a most influential list right next to Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, and other things people talk about but rarely ever see in action. Angel. Reese fans had big dreams this season. Oh, they were convinced she was about to dominate, steamroll the league, and make everyone eat their words. The self-proclaimed Bayou Barbie was supposed to be the force, unstoppable, untouchable, a generational talent, and yet here we are, watching her miss layups like a middle schooler who just learned the game last week. Seriously, it's like someone swapped out her hands with oven mitts. Layups? Bricks. Footwork? Non-existent. Defense? Well, let's just say if effort was measured in Instagram selfies, she'd be the greatest of all time. But on the court? Yikes. Angel Reese isn't just struggling. She's out here looking like she lost a bet and had to play basketball as punishment.
This is about sports. This is about athletic ability. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at Caitlin Clark's game, who's very reminiscent of a Steph Curry based on her range and shooting the three, plus everything else she does. And then you look at Angel Reese. Stop it. Stop it. There's a dude on the internet who cracks me up. On TikTok. He's put together a shitload of Angel Reese clips. And it'll say Angel Reese part 36. And it goes, Angel Reese going up for another layup. She misses. Bang! And I mean, dude, it's the funniest shit. And my whole thing is this, dude. She just seems as uncoordinated as a baby giraffe.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is somewhere in a gym, adding muscle and draining threes like it's her full-time job. Because, well, it is. While Caitlin is perfecting her craft, Angel is out here showing us what happens when you prioritize vibes over actual basketball skills. Reese fans love to scream about her dominance in college. But newsflash, the WNBA isn't college, and the defenders aren't conveniently disappearing every time she touches the ball. Turns out, when you don't have a size advantage and can't just bully 5'8" guards under the basket, things get real, fast. Let's talk about effort, or the glaring lack of it. Reese plays like she expects the ball to magically fall into her hands. The energy? Non-existent. The hustle? missing just like her shot attempts. But don't worry, she's still got time for social media, making sure her off-court brand is thriving while her on-court performance is crumbling faster than a Jenga tower in an earthquake. And let's not even start with the turnovers. If giving the ball away was a skill, Angel would be first-team All-WNBA. It's almost impressive how quickly she can turn an offensive possession into a fast break for the other team. Every game, it's like a comedy show. What ridiculous mistake will she make next? Will it be a travel that not even the refs can ignore? A pass directly to the opponent? Another missed layup? The suspense is honestly better than any thriller movie.
Oh, Reese! 3-on-3, part 13, let's get it! Classic long two. Bang! PSA, no rims or backboards were harmed during the filming of this video. But viewers are encouraged to look away. Bang! What? Bang! I heard her say that she might sit out if the WNBA doesn't pay her what she deserves. They say $1 million for every missed layup is fair. Bang! They are stat petting queen properly. Fair wages for all. I repeat, fair wages. Remember, they're coming to see her. Long two, butter pecan. Bang!
And what's the response? More excuses, more post-game interviews, full of hollow confidence and talk about proving the haters wrong. Haters? Girl, this isn't about haters. This is about reality. The only thing Angel Reese has proven so far is that her fans might need a new hobby, because defending her performances is getting embarrassing. But hey, at least she's consistent. Consistently underwhelming, that is. While Caitlin Clark is expanding her game, breaking records and getting stronger, Angel Reese is out here giving us the basketball equivalent of a soap opera, lots of drama, minimal action, and a whole lot of underachievement. Maybe, just maybe, it's time to stop the talking and start the training. Or at least, make a layup. That would be a nice start. Oh, the WNBA did it again. They went ahead and ranked Caitlin Clark second in the league this year. Because, generational talent tends to get recognized. But guess who was nowhere in the top 10? That's right, Angel Reese. And suddenly all those loud, chest-thumping Angel Reese fans have gone real quiet. You could hear a pin drop.
Aaliyah Boston and Angel being higher than Satu, that's crazy work, fam. I'm sorry. That's crazy work.
Remember when they swore up and down that she was her and Caitlin was overrated? Yeah. Well, the receipts are rolling in and it's looking real bad for them. Caitlin's up there, just casually being one of the most dominant rookies the league has ever seen. While Angel is, where exactly? Somewhere in the below 10 abyss. A true team player. Some might say, if team player meant disappearing when it matters. And now, as if things couldn't get any worse, the most influential female list drops, and guess who's nowhere to be found again? At this point, it's not even a snub. It's a statement. The basketball world has spoken, and it turns out being good at basketball still matters. Imagine that. Meanwhile, Angels fans are busy convincing themselves that rebounds alone should earn you a crown. Caitlin Clark is finally getting the recognition she deserves. Took long enough, right? Meanwhile, someone else, let's call her a certain someone, is scrambling for attention, like a kid who just realized the birthday party isn't about them.
So the Chicago Sky have announced that they are moving arenas for Indiana's home game. Well, Indiana's road game, but Chicago's home game. This is the motion that the Indiana Fever / Caitlin Clark have.
For months, we've had to sit through endless headlines about Angel Reese, hyped up as if she's the undisputed face of women's basketball. And yet every time she steps on the court, it's like watching a reality show contestant who thought confidence alone would win the game. Dominance? More like theatrics. Leadership? More like the loudest person in the room mistaking volume for impact. But here's the kicker. While Reese is busy celebrating every layup, like she just won a championship, Clark is out here actually breaking records. She's not pointing at rings she hasn't won. She's making sure she gets them. Meanwhile, someone else is still living off that one championship like it's a lifetime achievement award. It's funny, really. Reese wanted to be the main character so badly, but Caitlin Clark is the actual storyline. And the best part? She's doing it without the dramatics, without the Twitter tantrums, and without needing to convince the world she's relevant. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.